Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the FUNimation dub of episode 73 of Dragonball Super. We begin this episode with Jaco stopping by a space snack stand in order to eat some ramen after he's captured a small tentacled creature known as Watagash, who is apparently a dangerous criminal despite appearances suggesting otherwise. The snack stand owner thinks it's unwise of Jaco to stop to eat some ramen before bringing Watagash to prison, but Jaco insists that everything is fine because Watagash is in a container right now. However, Watagash manages to break free of the container and flies off somewhere into space. We then head to Earth, more specifically the home of Gohan, Videl, and Pan, where we see Gohan is working in his study until he hears Videl exclaim something in surprise. Gohan goes into the living room and he sees what has Videl surprised. There's a commercial on TV advertising an upcoming movie, a movie about Great Saiyaman and Hercule. Videl calls her dad about this movie, and Hercule's glad to hear that the trailers and teasers are now released to the public, because Hercule couldn't say anything beforehand because of NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. Hercule explains to Videl that the famous actor Barry Kahn actually approached him with the idea of the movie some time ago. While Hercule is telling Videl about this, we, the audience, get to see Barry Kahn heading to Hatta Brothers Studio, the studio that's developing the movie, and Barry is being interviewed by reporters about the movie. Gohan hasn't worn his Great Saiyaman costume in a few years now, or several years now, so Great Saiyaman has apparently fallen into obscurity in the public eye. And Barry explains to the interviewers that he wanted to make a movie with the Great Saiyaman as a focal point because he wanted an acting challenge, as he puts it. After the interview, and when he goes to see the assistant director, we see Barry complaining to the assistant director about how the teasers and trailers don't mention his name in the title. He wants it to say Barry Kahn in the movie title, essentially. So we do see that Barry Kahn is rather egotistical, to say the least. So while that's happening, we also see that Hercule has invited Gohan, Videl, and Pan to take a tour of Hatta Brothers Studio so they can actually see the filming of the movie for themselves. And Gohan is impressed by the studio in particular. He says he wishes he could invite his dad to see it, but Hercule figures that Goku is probably off training somewhere. And we actually do see Goku is on King Kai's planet right now, and he sneezes in the brief scene that we see him in. Back at Hatta Brothers Studio, Gohan, Videl, Pan, and Hercule end up running into Coco Amaguri. She's the female lead of the movie, and she's also a super popular idol. That's how she's described throughout the episode. So Hercule introduces Coco to Gohan, Videl, and Pan, and he's about to mention that Gohan is actually the Great Saiyaman, but he does so out of good intentions. He was hoping to let Gohan have a chance of being famous, but Gohan politely mentions to Hercule that they're trying to keep that detail under wraps, and Videl comments that not everyone wishes to be famous like him, Hercule. Barry soon comes across the group, and Barry is quite smitten by Videl when he sees her, and he even offers her his autograph. Videl, though, politely declines, but Barry does not take this very well, And when he sees that other crew members of the movie have seen Videl decline his autograph, Barry tries to pass it off as Videl being illiterate, which would make his autograph useless to her. And when Gohan and Videl are talking to each other privately about it, Videl says she's not interested in Barry's autograph because Gohan is a much bigger deal to her than any famous actor is. So later on, we get to see actual filming for the movie. So it's going to be the first major action. Yeah, the first major action scene of the movie is about to happen. Great Saiyaman is supposed to dodge an incoming tank. That's the major scene. But Gohan and Videl see that Barry actually doesn't do his own stunts. They have a stuntman to do that sort of thing. But even though Barry isn't doing the stunts, he still tries to change things up regarding the scene. Because Barry says instead of having Great Saiyaman dodge the tank, he wants Great Saiyaman to jump into the tank. And while the assistant director thinks it might be a good idea to get some wires to help the stuntman out, Barry insists that they can't use wires, which would make the stunt more dangerous for the stuntman, unfortunately. So Gohan actually requests to do the stunt instead. Partially because, it would be too dangerous for the stuntman, but he also admits that he partially wanted to impress Pan, because Gohan's idea was later on in life, once Pan is older, maybe they could re-show her the Great Saiyaman movie, and she could see her dad as the Great Saiyaman, at least for the stunt scenes. And Barry actually humors Gohan. He says, yeah, go ahead to Gohan about doing the stunts, but Barry's motive for doing so is out of spite. He wants to get back at Videl for rejecting his autograph, and he thinks that Gohan will get hurt in the stunt. So, yeah, he just agrees to Gohan's request out of spite. But Barry's motives, Barry being okay with Gohan doing the stunt actually comes back to bite him, because Gohan actually performs the stunt very well. And the rest of the movie crew are impressed by this. The director of the movie, in fact, the director of the movie is very impressed in particular. And he even manages to make Barry nervous when he questions if Barry has any problems. The director says he wants to make Gohan the lead stuntman. Yeah, he wants to make Gohan the lead stuntman of the movie, thinking that Gohan's stunts could help make the movie his masterpiece. Videl also encourages Gohan to play the lead stuntman of the movie. She says that seeing Gohan as the Great Saiyaman brings her down memory lane, and she says that's kind of a rush for her, in her words. Hercule also encourages Gohan to play the lead stuntman of the movie, saying that, Hercule believes the movie to be his big break, and he wants it to be as memorable as possible. So Gohan does end up agreeing to be the lead stuntman of the movie. So Gohan, it's a few days later, or at least sometime after that particular day. And we see Gohan has the Great Saiyaman costume in a bag, and he's walking downtown. And he's wondering how he's going to try and... Gohan is trying to figure out how he's going to memorize all the lines of the movie. But then suddenly he notices a bank robbery going on. So when no one's looking, he puts on his Great Saiyaman costume, and he tries to put a stop to the bank robbery. He's unaware of the fact that Krillin is actually the police officer who's taking care of the bank robbery. And the bank robbers are actually a duo that recognize Great Saiyaman. They remember Great Saiyaman when he first, when Videl first met Great Saiyaman, Great Saiyaman helped Videl take care of the two bank robbers. So that's where they remember Great Saiyaman from. And while they're talking, we see that Watagash has actually ended up on Earth. And Watagash possesses one of the two bank robbers. And we do see that Watagash has the power to boost the power of whoever is possessed by Watagash, because the bank robber that's possessed by Watagash is now significantly more powerful by the standards of an average human. Despite this power boost, however, Great Saiyaman is still able to easily defeat the bank robber. And so, yeah, both the bank robbers are defeated, and Watagash retreats into the sewers after the incident. And reporters have caught footage of Great Saiyaman stopping the bank robbery, and they've reported it on the news. A lot of individuals who've seen the footage suspect that it might be a means of advertising the Great Saiyaman and Hercule movie. That's the speculation going around anyway. So the next day rolls around, and Gohan arrives at Hada Brothers' studio. The movie crew ended up seeing the news, and they're complimenting Gohan about it because they accurately guessed that Gohan was the one in the Great Saiyaman costume. But then soon enough, Bulma actually arrives at the studio, and Bulma actually covers for Gohan. Bulma comes up with a cover story that she made a second Great Saiyaman costume just in case anything happened to the first Great Saiyaman costume that she provided for Hada Brothers Studio for the movie. She said that someone took the second costume from her lab, and that whoever took the costume must have used it to fight crime. So Gohan is thankful that Bulma had covered for him, and later on, Gohan actually has a chance to thank Bulma in person for this when they believe that they're having a conversation with each other in private. But neither Gohan or Bulma realize that someone has overheard their conversation. That someone is Koko Amaguri. So later on, we see that the filming for the day has finished up. And after that's all done, Koko Amaguri actually requests to rehearse lines with Gohan. She insists that she can only rehearse the lines with Gohan rather than Barry. And Gohan is reluctant to do so, but he eventually agrees to rehearse lines with Koko. Koko wants to rehearse the lines at her home, but they end up heading to the area where Gohan and Bulma were talking earlier, and Koko admits to Gohan that she overheard Gohan's conversation with Bulma in this location, so she knows that Gohan is Great Saiyaman. But Koko assures Gohan that she'll keep his secret, but she does want to fly back to her place. She wants to go back to her place by flying because Gohan has the ability to fly. So Gohan, in his Great Saiyaman costume, is flying to Koko's place, with Koko holding on because she doesn't have the ability to fly. And Koko wants to take the scenic route. She wants to take their time getting there to enjoy the sight of the sky while actually being in the sky. So eventually nighttime rolls around, and Koko thinks it's now time for them to head to her place to rehearse their lines. But on their way to Koko's place, they're intercepted by Jaco, and Jaco is under the mistaken belief that Watagash has possessed the Great Saiyaman. Jaco also doesn't realize that the Great Saiyaman is actually Gohan. So the episode ends with Jaco preparing a cannon from his spacecraft to attack Great Saiyaman because he mistakenly believes Great Saiyaman to be possessed by Watagash. So there you go. This is part one of the second two-parter before we get to the fifth saga of Dragon Ball Super. In this case, this two-parter is about a Great Saiyaman movie. And this actually isn't the first time that a Great Saiyaman movie was or the idea of a Great Saiyaman movie. This isn't the first time that the idea of a Great Saiyaman movie has been presented in the franchise. The first time this happened actually was in some filler scenes during the Buu saga in Dragon Ball Z. But from what I remember, the filler scenes regarding that Great Saiyaman movie only happened within one episode, and it wasn't even for the entire episode, just a few scenes of one particular episode. So the idea of the Great Saiyaman having a movie is expanded into a two-parter for Dragon Ball Super. And I've always mentioned this, or I've mentioned it before in the past, I'll keep mentioning it, but I've always been more concerned about the execution of an idea, a premise, or a story. Yeah, a story premise, a story idea. I've always been more concerned about the execution, not by how many times it's been done before. And that's the case here, because even though the Great Saiyaman movie idea had been done beforehand, they're actually expanding it into a two-parter, so it's cool that they're actually going to expand that idea to greater detail. And yeah, speaking of the movie, I did like the references to Hatta Brothers Studio and the idea of a movie that's about Great Saiyaman and Hercule going toe-to-toe with each other. It seems pretty safe to say that it's probably a reference to Warner Brothers and Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Most fans suspect that the two-parter's a reference to Warner Brothers and Batman vs. Superman, and I'm inclined to agree that it's probably safe to say that the two-parter is a reference to that. And it's funny that they reference not just DC, but also you could say it references Marvel too, because Watagash actually brings the symbiote to mind, the alien life form that, symbiotes were alien life forms from at least Spider-Man in particular. And probably Venom is the most famous of the villains that involve the symbiotes. So I thought that was a pretty cool touch how this two-parter had referenced DC and Marvel in some capacity. And while I'm thinking about it, that's right, yes, Barry Kahn. Barry Kahn actually has had his face appear back in Dragon Ball Z. Barry Kahn's face was actually shown in a magazine during the Buu saga. Buu actually saw the magazine and he morphed his face to resemble Barry Kahn. So that was a pretty cool touch that they referenced an obscure small detail from Dragon Ball Z's Buu saga, and because we actually get to meet Barry Kahn now, the inspiration for Buu morphing his face for a quick scene. And yeah, Barry Kahn does come off as being narcissistic and egotistical, and yeah, he's definitely not a pleasant person to be around, to say the least. But it was definitely satisfying to see him not get his way, or things not going his way for him, because he was hoping to get back at Videl by having Gohan get hurt in a stunt, just because Videl politely declined having his autograph, but it came back to bite him because Gohan ended up performing the stunt to such an incredible extent that the movie crew actually wanted Gohan to be the lead stuntman of the movie. So yeah, and we can be assured Barry is going to do more in part 2 of this two-parter. He's clearly not done with his antagonism, because we're going to see Barry causing more trouble in part 2, and that's to put it vaguely for those who haven't seen the part 2 yet. And otherwise, I guess, I might as well bring this up now. Some fans have pointed out it does seem pretty strange how Great Saiyaman's true identity of Gohan is still a secret overall, because a lot of fans have pointed out during the Buu saga at the World Martial Arts Tournament, Gohan, being the Great Saiyaman, was exposed to exposed to many audience members. At least some of the high school classmates of Gohan and Videl actually figured out that Great Saiyaman is Gohan after this. And some find it strange how Great Saiyaman is now considered obscure just because Gohan hasn't taken up the mantle of Great Saiyaman in a few years. Some fans I've noticed have speculated that maybe the wish to erase the ordinary citizens of Earth's memories of Buu might have also affected related events like the World Tournament incident. And as far as I know, it hasn't explicitly been stated to be the case, but I guess it's a reasonable explanation. It's hard to say because Akira Toriyama never really brought back Great Saiyaman after the Buu saga, or at least not in a way where Great Saiyaman would be out in public, at least from what I can, I don't recall Great Saiyaman being among the public from outside of maybe some filler scenes or some anime exclusive scenes like the Wrath of the Dragon movie, for example. But yeah, I guess that's as good of an explanation as any other explanation anyway. So otherwise, yeah, I guess the other main thing is that Gohan is actually the spotlight character for this two-parter, which is a nice. I'm sure Gohan fans are very happy to have Gohan get his chance to have the spotlight, especially because Gohan hasn't gotten to do a whole lot in Dragon Ball Super compared to Dragon Ball Z so far anyway. And yeah, I was cool with that. It was nice to have Gohan do his own thing and having Goku take a breather for the time being. And some people probably already know this, but for the sake of those who might not be aware or were confused about why Goku sneezed in his one scene that he was featured in this episode, there's apparently a Japanese superstition where you sneeze whenever someone elsewhere is talking about you. So yeah, if you didn't know that, that's just a little bit of trivia for those who are unfamiliar with that superstition. So otherwise, there we go for now. So we have part 1 of the Great Saiyaman movie two-parter, and yeah, I think it was nice to give Gohan a chance to be in the spotlight, and I did like the references to other superhero stuff, whether it was DC or Marvel, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing part 2 of this two-parter next week. So there we go for now. As of this video, we've now discussed episode 73 of Dragon Ball Super as dubbed by FUNimation on this channel. Take care, and until next time.